And we're back again with step 3. Read the short text in detail. This is where you fill in the remainder of your plan. Read each sentence individually and ask yourself this question: so what? Or how does this fit into my plan? If you get to the bottom of the short text and you can't find the answers to all the items in your plan, then you will likely find them in the exhibits, but the majority will be answered during your detailed reading of this short text. Note that by the end of step 3, you want to have the majority of the plan filled out regarding your role, product, users, their objectives, level of sophistication, constraints, bias or motivation, risks, and timeline. You already have your requireds because you got those in step 2. What you will not likely get during this reading is the issues. Well, unless the case is in paragraph format. However, as long as you have pulled all of the important information from reading the short text in detail, then you should move on to step 4. Read the exhibits in detail. This is where you will most likely find the issues for each of the requireds in a standard case. Note, again, if you're given a case in paragraph format, then the issues will be dispersed throughout the paragraphs, although sometimes each paragraph is an issue. Remember that it is the requireds that you have to think about as you read the exhibits. For example, assume that you discovered in step 2 that analyze the financial reporting issues and recommend appropriate adjustments is the required. Knowing this, you are going to look for financial reporting issues that the client would like you to analyze when you're reading the exhibits in detail. It might be that this client is a merchandiser who has just started to sell extended warranties. One of the issues might then be revenue recognition, as in, when should the revenue from extended warranties be recognized? Note that you are not trying to analyze the issues at this point. You are simply finding them. When you find an issue, you do not want to write all the case facts about that issue. Instead, write down an informative heading. Notice I didn't just write revenue recognition. I wrote revenue recognition warranties because there might be multiple revenue recognition issues. Then note down the amount involved. This is from the case facts, and then the location of this issue on the case. This is your plan, not your analysis. In a case, you don't have enough time to start repeating all the case facts for each issue in your plan because you don't have time for that. Instead, what you want is a guide, a heading, an amount, and a location so that you know there is an issue, the magnitude of that issue, because it will help you rank them, and the location of that issue in the case so you can get back to it quickly. You can also make a margin note on the case itself. It might be in that exhibit I put down R number 1, I number 1, and a circle around the dollar value, 12,000. This will be on the actual case. It tells me that this is issue number 1 for required number 1 that covers revenue recognition and is for $12,000. Again, this is going to help me to find everything quickly when I start my analysis, which, by the way, you have not done as yet. Note that sometimes an exhibit may be all quantitative information. For instance, an income statement. Be sure to ask yourself, why was the quantitative information given to you? There is always a reason for providing quantitative information, and you have to know what that reason is. The key to why it was provided is usually either in the requireds or in one of the issues you identified. You can waste a lot of time copying numbers into your plan. Don't do that. Instead, use your referencing methodology, heading, amount, location, on both the case and your plan. Once you have finished reading the exhibits in detail, you have now got a fully developed plan for your case. So, we're going to move on to step 5 in the next video.